Imagine trying to convince Americans that the media coverage of President Biden has been as bad or worse than it was for President Trump. Can you even fathom trying to pull that one off? Well, that's what one Washington Post columnist, Dana Milbank, claims, of course. After a honeymoon of slightly positive coverage in the first 3 months of the year, Biden's press for the past 4 months has been as bad as, and for a time, worse than, the coverage Trump received for the same 4 months of 2020. So they did this little study of this same period of time, and this is what he says that it indicates. He's talking about the same media that spent 4 years telling you that Donald Trump was quite literally Adolf Hitler.
Today, America First, it was not just the racial, the Hitlerian background to it.
It almost feels like a little ethnic cleansing is going on in the United States right now.
Increasingly, Donald Trump is turning this nation into Nazi Germany.
Trump no doubt learned from any number of authoritarian leaders over the last 90 years. Ataturk, Franco, Mussolini, Stalin, and Hitler.
It's amazing. That's what you get when you try to just have, a country with borders and common sense immigration policy. You get these idiots calling you Adolf Hitler. It is astounding. It is amazing. And Dana Milbank, one of the greatest hits of the year, of course. The media is so tough on Joe Biden, of course, that they are opening the doors of their newsrooms to Biden officials looking to directly shape the coverage of their own administration. Did you see this from the new CNN doing some real reporting over there finally? The White House, not happy with the news media's coverage of the supply chain and economy, has been working behind the scenes trying to reshape coverage in its favor. Senior White House and administration officials have been briefing major newsrooms over the past week. Nothing to see here, folks. Just a White House controlling a complicit media that helped this White House get into power and help Joe Biden get into power. And now they're saying, no, we're going to come over here. We're going to tell you how to do your job now. Nothing to see here. No big story there, right? Donald Trump Jr. joins us tonight to talk more about this. It's good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
I'm still crying from that video clip of how asinine it is, Rob. It's just ridiculous. You can't make this stuff up, but you also couldn't make up the coverage of the last 5 years. And them trying to run cover for Joe Biden is truly sad. In watching that, you know how to solve the problem of bad coverage if you're a Democrat? Be competent. You saw him, again, end of message. He at Bob Dole's funeral, he's reading, the subtext. He called it the United Stake of America the other day. If he could get something right, and trust me, I'm an American. I have 5 young kids. I want him to be successful, even if I think his policies and he himself is an idiot. Yeah. But I want him to be successful because I still live in this country. There's just nothing to be happy about because everything's a disaster. They talk about gas. Gas went down 2 cents. Look, if you look in this window of a one-day period, gas went down. But if you zoom out to the last year, you see that it's $1 higher than it was. They don't tell you those things. And the media is so pre-programmed to be the marketing arm of the Democrat Party that it's so bad, even they can't do that job anymore.
Exactly, and that's the whole point. The point is that they want to be as easy as they can on them, but you can only ignore the house burning down for so long before you actually just have to tell people, the house is kind of burning down. And that's why when they look at the numbers, they see as much negative coverage. It's not because you didn't have equivalent presidencies. You had one that's been really terrible and one that was actually going well that they were trying to make terrible. And so when you do that, you get equivalent coverage at the same time. It's hysterical. I want you to take a listen to CNBC's Jim Cramer, who is clearly going off the deep end. Take a listen to this.
To me, we have the strongest economy perhaps I have ever seen. See that number this morning, the unemployment number? It's the best in years. It's not best in 69.
I don't know how anybody can be on CNBC and really think this is the best economy we've had in that long. They're pointing at one number. We have a horrific labor market right now. Anybody that runs a business will tell you that. We have rampant inflation. He's talking about unemployment, ignoring the fact that there are so many people that are now, it seems, going to stay out of the labor market maybe forever.
Well, they're manipulating the stats. It's almost ridiculous to watch. I don't think we should be surprised that we're seeing that out of CNBC because they are one of the biggest perpetrators of this kind of false narrative to boost the Democrats. But Jim Cramer talking about that, it's asinine because someone like him knows better. And you know that if you're not looking for work for a certain period of time, you're no longer in the workforce. You don't count. So there are millions of people who are sitting on the sidelines, and it's like they don't even exist based on that one statistic. But it paints a rosy picture if you are speaking to people who don't understand how these things work. If you talk about the true numbers, if you talk about the true workforce participation levels, if you look at what's going on, you realize we're in a scary place. We're giving up American energy independence. We're giving Russia pipelines. Our president's apparently trying to cede a portion of the Ukraine to Russia. I remember then when that was kind of problematic, right? I remember when a phone call with someone in Ukraine was an impeachable offense, giving a third of their landmass to Russia. No problem. It's nothing to see here, folks. This is what we're used to, and it's why very few people actually trust the media, because a guy like Jim Cramer, who's there to talk about business, is still functioning as that marketing arm. It's truly sick, and it's ridiculous. There's just nothing more to say about it. It's just ridiculous.
No, trust me, I'm right there with you. I want to show you something, though, because the American people, despite the power of the media, and they do have a lot of power, despite what they've done, people still see what's going on. The re-election polling from TIP. Look at this. Reported in the Boston Herald today. 22% for Biden re-election. Kamala Harris at 12%. This is their support in 2024. Can you fathom numbers like that? I mean, that is just unbelievably bad.
I can totally fathom numbers like that. Honestly, it should be much worse. But again, you have a $1 trillion industry. The mainstream media. You have another $1 trillion industry in big tech with Google and everyone else. You have another $1 trillion industry in social media that is running still cover for it. The mainstream media, they're starting to lose total credibility, so they have to talk about some of the bad things, but they're still making a very conscious effort to cover up what's actually going on. But Americans see it. Rob, if I'm sitting there understanding my background, who my father is, where I come from, if I'm sitting there and filling up my truck and I'm upset and I'm like, this is ridiculous. No, but seriously, I get it. It must drive the average American insane. And that's just not it, right? We're supposed to lower our expectations because shelves are empty during the holiday season. We're just supposed to forget about that. We're supposed to turn into the proverbial S-hole country, and we're supposed to be just fine with that. Well, we're America. We shouldn't be just fine with that. We should be fighting against that nonsense.
Well said. Donald Trump Jr., thank you so much for taking the time. Good to see you as always.
Good to see you, Rob. Thanks a lot.